It is our weekly visit with the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon. He joins us on the Arizona Sportsline. Coach, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. How you doing today?
I'm excellent. How are you guys doing?
Good, Coach. Well, let's start with the injuries. I don't want to name every single one because I just don't have that type of time. But what injury updates can you give me? You suffered a lot of them throughout the course of that football game yesterday.
Yeah, we'll see the next couple of days here. You know, the good thing about playing Monday night, you get an extra day. But nothing looks too crazy, but we got some bumps and bruises that we'll evaluate the next couple of days and see who's ready to go here.
Okay, so nobody being ruled out as of right now that got injured yesterday?
Not right now, no.
Let me ask you this. The identity of I know what you want the identity of the football team to be, but what would you say right now after 6 games, considering you've had 2 great wins against San Francisco and Washington, 2 really tough losses, San Francisco and the Rams, and then 2 tough losses, Washington and Green Bay, and then 2 close games, Buffalo and Detroit. What would you say at this point the identity of this football team is?
Yeah, I think we played the right way. Now, yesterday was, you know, we didn't do well enough as far as controlling what we can control and hurting ourselves. We beat ourselves yesterday. So I don't want that to be our identity. Now, we haven't done that up until this point, but obviously we got to correct why that happened. But I know our guys will battle. I know our guys will fight. I know they'll lay it on the line. They'll stay connected. They won't point fingers. They care. They're passionate. We got to play a little cleaner, man. You know, where our record is, what it is right now, we got to play more consistent football all 3 phases.
When something like that happens with the penalties, it is awfully uncharacteristic for a team of yours to play like that. Does that make it easily correctable, concerning that it happened? I mean, how quick of a fix is that for you when you see it just go off the rails like that with the penalties?
Yeah, I mean it's a quick fix, but you got to be mindful of why those things happen, you know, and they're different. They're all different, right? So you got some that are post snap that are, you know, certain decision making and technique. I would say most of those penalties after the snap, that's why those happen. So we got to coach that up better. Where I was not pleased about were the pre-snap penalties because the ball, you're not even giving yourself a chance. So, and we've been really good with those, but those came up for a reason. So we got to make sure we detail it out and make sure that we practice the right way and do all those things, and it's on their mind and they're mindful about those things because, like I said, you can't, you know, you're kind of beating yourself when you do that.
You had said earlier when we talked with you after one of the games that everything is kind of a teachable moment, but I saw where you said after the game yesterday that those pre-snap ones are non-negotiable. Does that become an extra emphasis teaching moment for you today when you're watching film with the guys?
It was, and our guys are well trained and they understand what our non-negotiables were. And you know, I told them, I said, you know, nobody in this room should be looking around trying to seek for the answer of why we got beat. Like we did it to ourselves. So, and I pointed those out. They understood that, and they know they got to correct that ASAP if we want to have a chance to win.
How hard is it as a coach to, like, when all of these things are happening around you, neutral zone infraction on their first series, the second series, the third series that you guys had, and all of a sudden you're down 24-0. In the midst of that, how hard is it to correct things as it's going on throughout the course of a game instead of like during practice during the week?
Yeah, well, you know, you're real time in a game. You're trying to solve different issues as well too. But no, when they come off the field, you got to correct it, and we have to make sure that we're doing a better job to not keep making the same mistake, which really yesterday we didn't really quite do. So that falls on the coaches and the players. We got to do a better job.
You talked all last week about, you know, their ability for explosive plays. They throw the ball over your head. So we kind of knew going in, you know, that's how they play. Now, Love had some interceptions since he came back, but he also had some really big plays. Yesterday, they had a lot of those explosive plays, the 44-yarder to Watson where he ran by Buddha. Going through the tape and looking at it, what were some of the issues you guys had with covering those plays?
The one play that you just referenced was good, really good play by them. You know, I would say that there were some teaching moments off of that, but change the coverage if you want a different result there. It was good planning by Green Bay, I thought. And a couple other ones, I think, just in issues of making sure that we're winning our leverage, staying on top of people the correct way. And we got to do a better job affecting the quarterback.
Jonathan Gannon, our guest here on the Burns Gambo show, coming off the loss yesterday to the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to apologize in advance for oversimplifying this because I know it's not that simple. But third downs on both sides of the equation feels like a battle you guys have not won nearly at the rate that you would want to on both sides. Is that there are many problems, but is that one of the main problems from your perspective?
Yeah, yesterday the main problem to me were our non-negotiable penalties and the ball. So if you don't have those two things kind of right, especially the ball, it's hard to win games. But there's no doubt we got to do a better job on third down both sides. And I really think that's a product of us being consistent on first and second down to do the right things to make sure that we're third and manageable on both sides.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I asked you about, I had a comment because you had a lot of injuries about bringing a knife to a gunfight. And I respect the hell out of the fact that you didn't go there. We've got the guys on the roster that could do it. We've got the guy, and I respect that a lot, basically sticking up for all the players. You just said the ability to affect the quarterback. I could look at it and say you guys are still a year or two away. You got no Bijan Ojulari, you got no Darius Robinson. You still need more players in the draft to come through. But that doesn't help for this year. For this year, what has to change for you guys to get some of that pressure on the quarterback that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. I'm always going to look at ourselves first. How can we devise a plan that puts our players in better position to make plays? Then from there is when can we, throw the different bullets of scheme or to actually pressure and put more than 4 into the rush. What does the coverage structures look behind it to make the quarterback hold the ball a little bit more? So we're all connected in passing downs to do a better job. There's times yesterday that we pressured and it worked. There's other times where we pressured and it didn't work. So there's kind of live by the sword, die by the sword if you want to rip a bunch of pressures. But I think in the 4-man rush mechanics, we just got to detail it out a little bit better from the coaches, make sure that we're lining up the right way. Whether they're called games or games on the move or our one-on-ones, we just got to do a better job collectively.
Do you need to win more one-on-one battles? With that, there were definitely times 4 rushers, 4 pass rushers against 4, defenders. Like, do you feel like you've got to win more one-on-one battles?
Yeah, I do, but I also think we got to win more one-on-one in the back end too. That's why I say rush and cover and rush are connected. So to play good pass defense, to play good defense, play good football, all 11 got to be playing at a high level. So it's never about one group. It's never about one guy. It's about us collectively playing better.
Based off of the results yesterday, Coach, are you considering, it's probably more matchup dependent, a little bit more of the blitz based off of what happened yesterday? You kind of referenced that a second ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt we had some pressures up versus those guys, and we ripped some. It's going to be dependent on the quarterback. If you look at this quarterback that we're about to play, that's typically a no-no. He's really good against pressure. But we'll see. It depends on scheme and matchups and players and who we have up and how we're defending them and what positions we're putting them in to make plays.
What did you see on the fumbled exchange with Kyler and Trey Benson? It looked like Kyler changed the play at the line of scrimmage, came back, talked to Trey, and then somehow the fumbled handoff it got fumbled. What did you see there?
Yeah, we got to make sure all 11 are on the right page of what the play is being called or checked to, and then ball security. We got to do a better job of ball security.
Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. We won't talk to you next Monday because you've got a game next Monday, but we will, I hope, talk to you next week.
That's right. Yes. After a win on Monday Night Football.
Let's do it. I like the win. I like talking to you after a win a lot more than a loss.
So do I.
All right.
We'll talk to you Tuesday
Right,
after a win against the
Have a good
Chargers.
week.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you got it. Jonathan Gannon, our guest here on the Burns Gambo Show. And no, he will not be joining us next Monday. We presume, yes, he will be joining us next Tuesday after that Chargers game on Monday Night Football.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.